Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be your love and spirituality reading for water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. And I'll also be doing an extended video as always, so I will leave the link to that in the description box down below. All right, so let's jump into it. I'm just going to do this intuitively. I usually do past, present, future spread for my element readings, but I'm not going to do that for this one. I'm just going to just do it intuitively, so hopefully any messages that come through will give you, clarity and guidance. All right, so the first two cards out, we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Ace of Rods in the reverse. I feel like, what element got this similar spread? Was it might have been air signs, I think. So you may have some air in your chart, or you may be connected to someone who has heavy air in their chart. But with the Six of Pentacles being here in the reverse, I feel like some of you are coming to the awareness that you've been giving something that you yourself don't have enough of. And this message sounds very familiar. I feel like this may have come up in your reading from last month. But yeah, it's like coming to the awareness that you are giving more than you have. So you have a little bit of something and you're giving it away, when in reality you're supposed to be preserving it for yourself. It's almost like if you can't fill your own cup up, it's going to be difficult for you to fill someone else's up. So like if you're the type of person who, let's say that you barely can afford something financially, like you need to pay bills and you're just making ends meet, and then someone asks you like, hey, can you let me borrow some money? You'll give it to them even though you know that you yourself is running low, like, and you shouldn't. You see what I'm saying? It's like some of you are coming to that awareness that you've been overextending yourself, or you've been giving just far too much, to the point where it's now harming you. Because being generous is obviously something that is meant to be celebrated. Like, it's a positive quality to have, but it can turn dark, like if we overextend ourselves. Just like with any trait that is a positive trait, there's always a underbelly to it, like a shadow side to it. And the shadow side of being generous is overextending to the point where you're self-sacrificing and you have literally nothing left because you've given it all away. So some of you are coming to that realization, and you are deciding to make a change because you're coming to that realization. Hold on, I'm going to pull one more to clarify. Okay, I don't know why suddenly my heater wants to be extremely loud. Sorry if you can hear that. Hopefully it stops soon. All right, let me pull one more to clarify, just to dive deeper into this message. Yeah, I feel like overall, it seems like your energy, with the Ace of Rods being here in reverse, seems like your energy may be a bit drained. You may be needing to replenish your energy in order for you to kind of move forward. Because I feel like with the new year coming up, a lot of people, when it comes to starting a new year, they like to hit the ground running. Like, they like to go into the new year and they're like, all right, it's my year, let's go. I'm up, I'm ready. And they, motivation is very high at the start of the new year. Let's put it that way. And some of you could be feeling like you're having a hard time getting motivated. So you may need to retreat and pull your energy back in order for you to kind of like replenish yourself, so that then you can, start moving towards whatever goals that you're setting for the new year. So if you have the ability to be kind of in solitude or isolation a little bit for the next couple of days before the new year, that will be beneficial. Even if it's just for 24 hours before the new year, if you can like hibernate and pull your energy back, maybe not go on social media, like just don't do anything that could conflict with your energy. If you can do that for even just 24 hours, that'll help kind of replenish your energy, and then you'll feel much more recharged when you bring the new year in. Let me pull one more. Yep, Six of Swords. It's pretty much confirmation. The Six of Swords talks about, the Moon card. The Six of Swords talks about moving into calmer waters. That's what I was saying. Like, some of you are needing to go into solitude or hibernate just a little bit before the new year comes in, so that your energy can kind of be replenished and you can, hit the ground running when the new year starts. It's interesting because the messages that are coming up here are mostly about like your path, and like I'm getting spiritual messages. I'm not really picking up on love messages. So some of you, I mean, for a lot of you, you could be trying to not focus on love Like you're trying to not make love your main concern or priority right now, because I'm not really picking up on any love messages. We'll see as the reading goes on though. But I think that if you do have any sort of romantic feelings, or if there is love involved, whether it be romantic or friendships or family connections, it's almost like you're putting it on the back burner or you're keeping it hidden. I think that your main priority right now is yourself. So even if you do have some sort of romantic interest, or even if there are things going on within your connections, it's almost like you are just trying to put that on the shelf for now. Like you're kind of like, okay, I have to put that on the back burner because it's more important shit to worry about. Like my energy, you know, my peace of mind, like that's far more important than, you know, anything else. So for some of you, that's what you're doing. It's like you are kind of retreating when it comes to your emotions, or when it comes to any type of emotional ties you have. It's like you're putting it on the back burner in favor of, you know, balancing your own energy out first, or getting yourself to a healthy space before you can sit and ponder about whatever these connections are and any issues you may be having in them. Let me pull one more. You have the Star card in reverse. Okay, so I definitely do see that there is something that is on your mind in terms of an emotional connection. It's definitely there, but like I said, a lot of you are suppressing it, or you are just really not wanting to look at it. Sorry, oh my God, my heater is so loud. Why? Some of you are really suppressing it. You're trying really hard not to look at it, see it. You're trying to kind of drown it out, and I think it's for good reason though. I don't see it as like you're trying to suppress it so that you can not have to face it. I think you're suppressing it for right now so that you can get yourself balanced, because sometimes when we are trying to solve a relationship problem, or there's like a connection that is not going well, and there's like a lot that you need to ponder, or there's a lot that you need to go over in your mind about it, it can take up too much of your energy. It can exhaust you, and it gets to a point where sometimes you have to put it on the back burner in order for you to balance yourself out. So I think that's what you're doing. But what you don't want to do is to have it start out to where you are suppressing it just for the time being until you rebalance yourself, but you get so comfortable suppressing it that you just never bring it back up and you don't heal it. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like you can translate this into like a physical example as well. Like let's say that you are at work and you hurt your wrist, right? And you're like, okay, I need to go and get that checked out, but I don't have time to do that because, you know, I still have to work tomorrow, or I have another job, you know, whatever. Just fill in whatever example comes to mind for you. But you're like, I can't get it checked out right away. I have to put the little pain of my wrist on the back burner in order for me to get things done. I'll go next week, you know. So you're kind of powering through the pain and not going so that you can get work done. But then it gets to the point where you're so used to working with your wrist being hurt that you're kind of like, well, maybe I don't need to go. I've got this far without getting it checked out, so maybe I don't need to go. But the whole time your wrist is getting worse and worse and worse. Even if it feels like you no longer need to go to the hospital, you actually do. And then you end up causing some sort of permanent damage because you kind of put it on the back burner and then decided like, oh, I don't really need to go. That's what I'm seeing. Like, but that translates over into emotional pain for you. I was just giving an example of physical pain, but it's emotional pain, or like an emotional connection that you're putting on the back burner. Just be careful that you don't put it on the back burner so long to the point where you get too comfortable and you leave it suppressed. It still needs to be addressed, or else you're going to go through a cycle or a pattern again. So it needs to be healed and addressed, even if for right now it's on the top shelf, or it's on the back burner, not being focused on. Eventually you have to come back around to it. So the 6 of Rods is here, and the 9 of Cups is here as well. So with the 6 of Rods being here, some of you are definitely headed towards success. I'm hearing spiritual success, could be in the physical sense as well. Usually they go hand in hand. But yeah, a lot of you are definitely headed towards success. You are looking towards this 9 of Cups energy, which is your emotional fulfillment. Like what makes you feel like you are winning at life is what I'm hearing. Like what is it that makes you feel that sense of accomplishment, that sense of self-respect, and just feeling very much emotionally fulfilled on your own? Because the 9 of Cups is the stage that you reach before you start dishing out love to other people. It's that level of self-love, self-respect. It's like where you want to be internally before you can start to spread the wealth around. by wealth, it doesn't just mean finances. It means like emotional well-being, energy, love, things of that sort. So like I said in the beginning of the reading, some of you have a tendency to give away something that you don't even have enough of yourself. And I think this Nine of Cups card is you stepping into this energy of making sure you're filling your own cup up first, making sure that you are content and happy within yourself, so that then you can start to fill other people's cups up because yours is full, you see? So the more you focus on yourself, the more you fill your own cup up, the more that you make yourself top priority, the more successful you will be in terms of spiritual success and even financial, mental, and emotional success, honestly. And for some of you, this is a foreign concept. You'll be very surprised at how difficult sometimes it can be to put ourselves first and to focus on giving to ourselves. Some of us have literally been trained to completely forget that we exist and to give to another person. Like, we've been trained that way since childhood. So you'd be very surprised at how difficult it can be. It sounds so simple. Stop giving so much and give to yourself. It feels extremely, extremely unnatural, but it's something that you have to practice at and you have to work at, because you are rewiring the way that your brain works. You're basically rewiring your brain to send the new message to yourself that you are worthy of receiving and not just giving, that your role is not just a giver, that you are also worthy of receiving great things. And you don't have to overextend yourself. You don't have to give your all in order to be worthy. You're worthy as you are. You don't have to, give everything or self-sacrifice in order for you to be loved and cared for, because you deserve unconditional love. You see? So when you give yourself that unconditional love, you feel this sense of success within yourself, and then you have enough energy, love, and resources to then start to share with other people. So I think that either you're in that energy or you are going to be in that energy very soon. Let me pull one more. I'm hearing some of you are asking how. How do you, I'm assuming it's for the people who haven't reached this yet, you're asking how. Let me pull one card to give you further guidance about how to step into this Nine of Cups. I'm hearing make a wish. I just heard intuitively it starts by you making a wish. What is it that your heart desires? What is it that you wish for that will make you feel fulfilled? That's the first step. Identifying the wish, and then actually doing things to move towards whatever that wish is. That's basically what I'm hearing, is that that's the ultimate act of self-love, is figuring out what it means to give somebody the world and giving it to yourself. So first, in order to give somebody the world, you have to know them, right? Because the world could be different for everyone. Some people could say, my man gives me the world, and they could be talking about expensive clothes or whatever the world means to certain people. Or my girlfriend gives me the world, and maybe they're talking about their girlfriend writes them poems every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in order for you to know that definition, you would have to know who that person is. And that's, the basis of romance as well, is knowing someone's needs before they know them. Like, that's, if you think about romantic encounters, that's usually what they're made of. Somebody being extremely thoughtful, somebody knowing what's going to make you feel good before you even know, or before you ask. Like, they anticipate what's going to make you feel good, and then they go out of their way to do it for you. Like on Valentine's Day, you see the couples, with the surprise hotel room and the roses and the candles. It's like the effort mixed with how well this person knows you, mixed with the fact that they are doing these things without being asked. Like, they are doing these things because they truly want to, and because their only motivation and intention is to make you smile. That's the basis of romance. And basically, you're needed to do this for yourself, to romance yourself, get to know yourself very well, get to know what your wishes are, your desires are, and then pretty much give yourself the world. It's going to be a very radical act of self-love, and it's needed. It's going to be drastic, because you've been on the opposite end for so long. The opposite end meaning you've been giving other people the world, at your own expense. So now you have to take a drastic shift, and now you have to give yourself the world. You have to go over and beyond for yourself. And that's how you were going to reach this Nine of Cups energy of feeling fulfilled within yourself emotionally. And you're definitely going to succeed, because the Six of Rods being here, it lets me know, that's my card of like guaranteed success. Some of you could be concerned, thinking that you're not going to succeed at this, because you've probably been in a rut for so long, or you've been in a dark space for so long, but you're definitely going to achieve this. All you have to do, like I said, is make a wish and then walk towards it. And it's all going to work out from there. So the next two cards are the Seven of Pentacles in reverse and the Tower card. Oh boy. This is just like repeat messages, which is good, because that means that, I'm tapped in. tapped into your energy very well. So the Seven of Pentacles in reverse talks about a waste of time. That's the energy that I'm getting from this card. A waste of time, a waste of energy, planting seeds in unhealthy soil and somehow still expecting them to grow. It's like that. I think that some of you have been planting seeds in unhealthy soil. Not saying that, you know, that you knew better. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, you knew the soil was unhealthy, why would you plant in there? You know, hindsight is 2020. So you don't have a clear, perfect vision of what you should do until after it's over with. You see? So that's why it's never good to beat yourself up over, oh man, I invested all this time and energy into this and that and nothing happened. Like, yes, you're supposed to think about it. You're supposed to regret it so that you don't repeat it. You know, if you never regret wasting time or you never regret wasting energy, you'll just continue to waste it, you know. But that regret is only supposed to help you to do better. You're not supposed to, you know, dwell on it and beat yourself up over it. It's only supposed to be a, you know, a one-time reminder to do better in the future. Like, don't beat yourself up or dwell too much about you planting seeds in soil that wasn't fertile in the first place. But also because maybe you just didn't know, you know, maybe you just didn't know the soil maybe looked fertile. And then as time went on, that's when you found out, like after you had already planted the seeds and you tried to water them and you tried to get them to grow, then you discovered that the soil isn't fertile. And how is that your fault if you didn't know any better? See what I'm saying? So just try not to beat yourself up too much. Just redirect your energy, redirect your focus, and just know where to invest your energy into the future. I mean, going forward, know where to invest your time and know where to invest your energy. And there's a need for you to really value your time and energy, because sometimes we forget that we're not here forever and we keep putting things off, especially if you have like a spiritual purpose or you know your purpose in life. If you are putting it off and you're like, okay, I'll get to it. Like, I know in my mind I have a plan. You may need to execute, because you just never know when your time is up. See what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we forget that we don't have any, like sometimes we forget that our time is limited. Like, we're not going to be here forever and we don't know when we're going to go. So sometimes you have to start taking those steps and stop putting it off, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, I think that with the Tower card coming out, there definitely was some sort of huge shakeup in your life, or something that caused you to have this drastic change when it comes to how you view your time and energy. I think you really invested into something that maybe blew up in your face, or just that really took a turn that you weren't expecting. And again, just try your best not to beat yourself up over this. This is something that seems, you know, kind of catastrophic here. So obviously it's something that's painful, but it's not meant to make you suffer. Like, it's not meant for you to relive it every day over and over and over and think about it every day over and over and over. It's meant to basically teach you about the importance of where to direct your energy, because what you reap is what you will sow. So whatever this Tower moment was, like that kind of things just didn't work out the way you predicted or the way you would have wanted, you didn't get a return on your investment, is basically meant to teach you, like, in the future to invest your energy and your time much more wisely. But you don't have to suffer from this. You don't have to beat yourself up over it every day and things of that sort. You really don't have to. It's just meant to show you. It's not meant to make you suffer. So just be careful. Let me pull one more. Make sure you're giving yourself a lot of love and compassion, and that you're not beating yourself up, because I'm hearing that some of you are just way too hard on yourselves. There is a bit of perfectionism that I am sensing. You need to be more gentle with yourself. Yep, that card in reverse. Let me pull one more. Five of Swords. You need to be more gentle with yourself, because this Five of Swords, like, this is like ruthless energy here. And I'm not seeing that it's an outside person. I'm seeing that it's you against yourself. Like, that when you invest in something and it doesn't work out and it blows up in your face, it's almost like you then spend a large amount of time after that just basically beating your own ass, like really beating yourself up mentally. Like, I'm just getting that, like, some of you really brutalize yourselves mentally, and I don't think you're doing it on purpose. Obviously, if you have a very, very tough inner critic that really does beat you down, it's that voice is coming from someone else. Like, obviously someone else at one point in your life criticized the hell out of you, or just didn't treat you well, or just didn't give you compassion or teach you how to be compassionate towards yourself. So now it's almost like, yeah, you really, really punish yourself whenever you feel you mess up. So whatever this thing was that you invested in and it kind of blew up and didn't go according to plan, you're being asked or you're being guided to stop beating yourself up over it, to stop harming yourself mentally with the negative self-talk, by reliving it over and over, by putting yourself in harm's. Some of you, like, you could do things like put yourself in harm's way as a way to subconsciously punish yourself for this, whatever this thing was that didn't work out. Yeah, you're just needing a lot of compassion. This is making me very sad, this energy, because, like, you know, it just kind of reminds me of, like, I was watching The Real Daytime, the talk show, and they were talking about, like, kids and how you need to be careful about what you say to your kids. And I know that Tamara said, you know, something that's very true, that you have to be very careful when it comes to kids and the way you talk to them, because they won't hate you for it. As the parent, they won't say, you know, I hate my parents. They'll hate themselves. They'll turn on themselves. And it's just very unfortunate that that's programmed into so many of us to turn on ourselves when external things hurt us or things don't work out for the better. It's just kind of sad that we've never been taught to say, you know, that didn't work out, but I'm still worthy of love. I'm still a good person. Like, we haven't been taught to be compassionate. A lot of us have not experienced anything else except for this drill sergeant sort of energy where we mess up and we get extreme punishment. We never got that compassion. So that inner critic is still there, just constantly beating you down whenever you quote unquote mess up. You're needing to overcome this. This is going to be something that is very detrimental to you in the new year, especially because you can't really get anywhere with this drill sergeant, like, or this dictator in your mind that is so hell-bent on punishing you every time you are human. Because you're a human, you're making mistakes, and it's almost like you're being punished for being a human and for messing up at times. And that inner voice needs to be replaced with compassion, is what I'm seeing, or else you're gonna have a rough time in 2020. I'm just, let me see, kind of wait to see if the message comes through clearly, because I'm hearing you're going to have somewhat of a rough time in 20. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. It's saying that you're going to have a rough time in 2020 because the energy is shifting, and the days of, like, ruling with an iron fist, or like that very cool, cold, straight to the point sort of energy that society has adopted, it's going to start to shift, and compassion is turning into the new normal. I hope that makes sense. And with the energy shifting, people who are able to be compassionate with themselves are going to flourish in 2020. I'm trying hard to express what I'm hearing or seeing, because it's more of like a spiritual or like energetic message, so it's a little confusing because it's not like a physical, like, I can't really explain it in terms of like the physical world or the material world. It's more of like a spiritual energy. I'm seeing like people who can practice compassion towards themselves and towards others. It's like they're in alignment somehow with 2020 because the energy shift, and people who have adopted this very harsh inner critic, and like this very, and not just harsh inner critic, but also very harsh and cruel towards other people as well, it's going to be a struggle to manifest abundance in 2020. Like, so you're being asked to practice more compassion towards yourself, because it's going to be very hard to get to where you want to be, especially in the upcoming year. I really hope that makes sense. I'm trying so hard to explain what I'm seeing in terms of the energy, but overall, just take this from it. You need to be more compassionate towards yourself, or it's going to be very hard for you to expand in the new year. This drill sergeant, harsh inner critic, is no longer serving you, and it is actually going to lead you in the right, it's actually going to lead you in the wrong direction instead of in the right direction. Let me pull one more. Queen of Cups, yeah. Judgment card. I'm seeing like, okay, put it this way. I think this would be a better illustration. The drill sergeant sort of energy that's in your mind, the harsh critic, is like the devil on your shoulder. The compassionate voice is like the angel on your shoulder. So one is going to lead you in the right direction. The other will lead you astray. That's what I'm seeing. That's a better example, I guess, of if you're trying to manifest great things in your life, if you're just trying to manifest even just a peaceful life, you know, anything that you want out of life moving into the new year, you need to follow that angel on your shoulder because it's leading you in the right direction. And that will be the voice inside of you that's more compassionate, that is helping to guide you in a compassionate way instead of beating you down for making mistakes. So you're needing to listen to the angel on your shoulder, the compassionate voice, and the devil on your shoulder. Just know that that's not really your voice. That's somebody who raised you, most likely, who kind of taught you to beat yourself up or to beat yourself down, and that has to change. That's something that's no longer serving you, and it has to change. And I think the Judgment card is here, so this is divine intervention. Like, this change that's needed, God or the universe, whatever you believe in, is helping you to become more compassionate, towards yourself, to see yourself as more of a human being instead of as this, I'm hearing like almost like a machine, like expecting complete perfection from yourself because you may have been raised on conditional love, and so you need to be perfect in order to be worthy of love, or that's the thought that you have. But you're a human being, you're not a machine, you're not a robot, so it's just not possible to achieve that type of perfection. And you can see why that would be so detrimental if you think that the only way you're worthy or the only way you're lovable is through that perfection, and it can't be obtained. So then your mind basically adopts the idea that if I am only loved when I'm perfect and I can't be perfect, then I'll never be loved. And you can see how that is a terrible mindset to adopt. It's very self-defeating, you know? So there's a need for you to allow yourself space to be human and to give yourself that compassion that you've always needed, that someone didn't have the tools to give you. All right, so I'm going to extend this. I'm going to dive deeper into these messages. I'm going to try to see if I can pick up on outside energy, like the person or the people you may have been dealing with. I feel like their energy isn't coming up too strongly, but we'll see in the extended. Thank you so much for watching, water signs. And again, I will leave the link to my Vimeo channel in the description box. So I will see you guys over on Vimeo. Bye. This is like self-sacrifice. I think that in past lives, you may have sacrificed a lot for this specific soulmate, or it could be a number of different soulmates, but it's like it was the same song and dance each lifetime. You were really, really overextending yourself to the point of completely, I'm hearing ruining. Would ruin be the right word? I guess that would be the right word. That's the word that's coming to me. It's kind of like self-sacrificing to the point where you basically just did not live the life that you wanted to live, or like you did not fulfill your dreams, your purpose, your destiny, because of the fact that you were willing to self-sacrifice. Because in the reading, I was picking up that some of you, it could be like lighthearted sacrifice this lifetime. Like maybe you just, give people too much money when you don't have it yourself, or maybe you give people too much energy when you should be focusing on self. But I think in past lives, it was a bit more severe. Like it was a bit more severe. Like the example I'm getting, I'm not saying that this happened. It might have, because I'm getting the example for a reason. It's like being in love with someone and them committing a crime and you literally taking the rap for them, and you end up being in jail for years and years and years. That sort of self-sacrifice. That's what I'm talking about. Like the images that I get sometimes with these past life things are just like, it blows my mind. But yeah, like that's what I mean. Self-sacrifice can go that deep. Like willing to throw your entire life away for this other person. And that's the pattern that you're breaking this lifetime.